Hey, this is WebsterX, and I got some weird ears on. You're now rocking with Lyrical Lemonade, and I'm WebsterX. My name is WebsterX. It's X, WebsterX, WebsterX. Lyrical Lemonade, WebsterX. Bunny ears.
I saw this vision on the frequent. In every mirror, every woman, every demon. In every chamber, I've been caught up in the secrets. Y'all niggas foo-foo, oh so lazy, I've been eating well. Feeling the rush, feeling the twist in the words on the hush, eating the dust.
Damn, when I can't remember the first time I wrote a rap song. That's crazy. I would say it was on a piece of loose leaf paper at lunch, and it was a rap freestyle verse to Lil Wayne's Let the Beat Build. But like, I was writing poetry before that mainly, so poetry was like, that was my shit. Like, everything I did was in the form of poem, and that was pretty much like 7th and 8th grade. So I don't know. Yeah, my first real rap though was over the popular demand beat as Clips. I used to like, before I even got into like really the full form of being a musician and shit, and like actually like rap, or more so just like conceptualizing shit instead of just rapping, was that was way later in my life. So like, I don't know, I can't really say that, dude. I don't even know when I really started like my first rap, like the OG, like piece of paper laminated like edition and shit. Like, I don't even know. Couldn't even tell you, but it's probably somewhere in space.
Just vivid depictions of us in the cut. What is enough? What is enough? I shake my head and turn up, and every time I step in the club.
Yeah, Sam Ahmed is my real name, and WebsterX came from essentially, and actually one of my first, back to the first question, one of my first like raps I ever wrote. In one of these lines on the popular demand beat I wrote on that Clips beat or whatever, it said like, I said, Madalism, racism, egoism, where's the rhythm? Someone pull out Webster's, we're trying to keep pace with them. And I was like, dude, that line was so dope. So I just chose Webster from Webster's Dictionary because I thought at the time that was when hip hop was like in that phase of, okay, people are using big words now, and it's like tight and it's cool and it's not lame. And they're not talking about like rims and cars and shit. So I was like, well, I use a lot of words in my rap, so I'm gonna just take Webster's Dictionary. And then the X came from like, it's two places. One, a loss of identity, like just being an X, just like you don't have a name, you're just that symbol. And then the other side of that is Generation X. I was reading this book once. Generation X is like, most of our parents or whatever, like 64 to 80 something, I think, 85 maybe, could be wrong. But their goal and their mission was to enlighten the next generation. So that's what I want to do with my music, is enlighten the next generation to do more shit. So I'm Generation Y, but I still Generation X and shit. So fuck it.
All young for our dreams will run. I say, dog, chill, buckle up.
Yeah, damn. Probably 48 hours ago when I kicked it in. Well, let me rewind all this shit because I'm just about to jump right into it. So I was playing Somerset Music Festival. And I was the first act on the main stage the entire weekend. Show started at 6 o'clock. It was hot as hell, 90 degrees. Like, I'm on this fat concrete slab with this giant like visual board behind me, which was cool. But it was the hottest show I've ever played. And going through the experience of it, like, there's one part during Lately where I got off a stage and I just was like talking to the mic and I was rapping the first part Lately and like doing the harmonies and shit. And I was off stage and like I was like, you can't see me right now, but just listen to what I'm saying. And then eventually I pull up behind the crowd right when I say, feeling the rush, feeling the twist in the words on the hush. And I was right behind the crowd. They had no clue that I was behind them though. And then as soon as I just start saying 1, 2, like without the mic. So that way all of a sudden their sound perception is just like, what the fuck? So they look behind me and I'm right behind them. And then they all get geeked. And then I start like running around the entire festival ground. Like, like Action Bronson does that shit where he'll just like come off the stage and just like be chill. Like, I like doing that. Like, so yeah, I just like ran around with the crowd and shit. And I get back on stage and Doomsday's about to start. And then I go through Doomsday and halfway through the end of Doomsday, like 3/4 of the way through, I see this nigga with a banana and this dude with like this giant fro. And this dude's like eating his banana going like this and this fucking Earl sweatshirt. And I'm like, oh, word. This is all in slow motion too. So I'm like turning the corner like, oh, word. And then like I hit the stage, I'm like rocking the rest of the crowd. Then we get off the stage and like dudes like geek to meet us and shit, and like is cool with it, and just a very, very, very nice ass human. So, and we skated with him like the rest of the night. Me and my boys did and shit, and like hung out with him. I met Bad Bad Not Good. Like it was a really cool like artistry moment in my opinion. Like just to show like when you're around those type of people that have like this world renowned like type of like grip on like music. It shows you how normal you can be in the situation. It's almost as if like, yeah, nigga, you got the juice too, like, right. You know. So.
Cause we're in this ride till it's done, and I know just where we're all going, and I know just where we're all going. Yeah.
Lately was a free song that I just dropped pretty much out of nowhere, and it was fully on like. I was pretty much just in this world of like, okay, so like when I was talking about maybe dropping out of school junior year of college. Like after that, I went through like a weird ass depression. Like after I dropped my first mixtape and shit, and yeah, I don't know. Like I felt like, cause like Milwaukee was all of a sudden like, oh word, who's this? But it wasn't like, oh that's that dude, WebsterX. Like he's raw as fuck. Like it was just more like, oh who's this? So I felt the pressure to follow all that shit up super hard, cause I was in the mode of like work mode how I am right now, like just making tracks nonstop, not even giving a fuck how many I make for my album. Like that's why I do it Desperate Youth, and that's why I end up with like 16 at the end of it. So. Yeah, bro, like, yeah, so the depression caught me, and then, like, afterwards, I pretty much just wrote about that depression through that song Lately, and then afterwards, I kind of just realized that instead of, like, a fan appreciation track, I'm gonna make this, like, a real-ass just single in itself, and I did that. It's not on the album, though. It's not gonna be on the next album, but, like, I just did it just because, and then I made a video because, and the concept behind the video was a lot through, like, American Beauty, like, the film, like, where he's, there's one scene where he's on the bed, and there's like these rose petals falling down from the screen, and then like it switches like a quick transition to this this girl who's like naked, but she has rose petals like all around her. It's so beautiful to me, and I was like, okay, I have to use that shit. So I use that in the intro. That's why the rose petals are falling down, and then the rest of the shit, like me busting out my grave, is like me busting out my grave mentally, finding everybody, like the village people and shit. That's just like finding my friends and realizing I have like a team around me, and then me dying at the end is just like me just trying to kill myself at the end of this film just because I want to do it. That's some weird shit.
Well, if it's shine on me, like a sun on me, what's it on me? Well, if it's shine on me, if it's shine on me, then it's shine on me. Yeah.
Damn, I was actually just going through this shit in my head today. It was like between 5 people, literally. It was between Hendrix Dead or Alive, because I don't even care. No Such Thing, who's a producer. He produced Chance's Paranoia, if that like helps people. And Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon. Tame Impala, Grimes, or Prince was the 5th one, and I think I'm gonna go with fucking Grimes, cause like Grimes, I don't know, she's in this whole weird ass geeked world that I just want to enter for like a song, right. And then pull back out and be like, all right, cool, like it's chill, like that was tight. She's just so damn talented, so it'll be Grimes. So Grimes, please watch this, cause I'm waiting on you.
Well, if it's shine on me, if it's shine on me, then it's shine on me. Yeah. Well, if it's shine on me, if it's shine on me, then it's shine on me. Yeah.
Shit, on a mountain singing a song with Kanye.
That's what we're gonna
random ass mountain. Like undisclosed location and shit. I like not Kanye, Kid Cudi. No, Kanye and Cudi at the same time.
Well, if it's all on me, if it's all on me, then it's all on me, yeah. Well, if it's all on me, if it's all on me, then it's all on me, yeah. Well, if it's all on me, if it's all on me, then it's all on me, yeah. Well, if it's all on me, if it's all on me, then it's all on me.